Hey. All right, there we go. And I think I'm good. Hopefully. Who knows? I suck so bad at technology, it's not even funny. Okay. Hi, Savannah. I can't see anybody else. Hi, Tracy, I think. All I see is so-and-so's iPhone. Um, so I know a lot of people already texted me and said that they could not get on tonight. They were gonna watch the replay. So this is a very interactive one. So it might be me and Savannah talking back and forth. But that is okay. That's why I record them, because I realize 8:30 on a Thursday night, like how many people are still working? I used to still be working at this time, so I know Janice and Savannah used to, or at least be getting off, because sometimes I'd see y'all on these Zooms, but like at work, because you could see the restaurant in the background. Oh, I can't see that far. So whoever just popped on, hi. My eyes suck so bad. So I'm actually super excited about today's. I didn't even know, just oh my gosh, like today's is all like everything begins and ends with you, and how basically like you kind of set the tone for the people around you. And I did not even like realize how true this was until this week, when my mom has been here for a week and I had not seen her, no joke, for about 3 years. And yeah, Savannah, I just did the same thing and shut my door. So no joke, had not seen her for about 3 years. And the mindset that we grew up with was just not a great one. Like a lot of like the poverty mindset and the victim mindset, just a lot of not very good mindset. And so, yeah, so I'm just going to tell you a few things that kind of have happened this week that I was beyond excited about, because I have been working on the growth mindset for probably 2 years, like 2 years consistently, but really the last year, like hardcore doing it. And it was just amazing. Like, I don't even know how to explain this other than, if you are around negative people, like you'll notice it. You'll notice the stuff that you didn't notice before. Like, for example, when my mom got into town, the first thing that she was like all up in arms about was she did not have a very good bus experience. She just had a pretty crappy driver at one point, just a few things, but she just wanted to call and like complain to them and spend like hours on the phone getting, the ticket was $100 and I paid for it, but she wanted to like call and get a refund, and it would have taken hours. And my mindset was like, I would rather spend those hours doing something than on the phone complaining. Like, my time is worth more than $100. So it's little things like that that you're going to notice when you really get into the growth mindset of different things that matter. When you're in the poverty mindset, or even just the negative mindset, like, money is one of the most important things to you. You will do anything to save $1. And I used to be like this. I used to be that extreme couponer that, no joke, would spend hours upon hours every single week to go save $30 at the grocery store. Like, if you even it out, I was paying myself less than $5 an hour to coupon. And I'm not saying anything against that. Like, I get it. You got to pay bills somewhere. But you should get to the point where that annoys the fire out of you, to where you would rather just work your business and make more money, and not spend your time couponing. And that's just like, there's so many different things. But so anyways, I just noticed, like, the last time she visited was about 3 years ago, and I did not have a very good mindset. I've been in this business for about 6 months, and I just remember, like, all of our conversations were negative. Like, we would sit and gossip about people. And this is nothing bad on her. Like, that's just what people do, right? Like, the ones that you get around and all they want to do is talk about people. It was a waste of time for me too. Yeah. Yeah, it is. Couponing is a huge waste of time. If you, again, like, you actually sit down and figure out how much you're saving for the amount of time that you're spending. That's with thrift storing, yard selling. Like, if you're doing it purely to save money, you're actually spending more than you're making because of the amount of time that you're spending. But now, if you're someone who you just really like to go to thrift stores and look around, like, that's a whole different story. Like, does that make sense? Some people really like thrifting. I'm not really one of those people. I used to say that I was, and I really just like saving the money. Now I'd rather walk in the mall, find a shirt that I like, know that it's in my size, and not have to like go hunt down aisles of racks of clothes through ones that are stained and torn and like find those one or two that look new. I'd just rather go into a store and buy the stuff that I want. But anyways, so I've noticed this time, our trip, my mom is way more positive, but she really isn't. Like, she seems that way because I don't let the negativity go on. Like, I just change the subject, and not even in a mean way. Like, it's not something I want to entertain with my time. So we just move on to something else. And it has been, Brett has noticed it, because him and my mom don't get along very well. And it's not because they don't necessarily like each other. They just have different mindsets. My mom's is a little bit more victim mentality, and that's just, it's been a very long time and lots of things that happened that have gotten her to where she's at. And then my husband doesn't like that at all. So me being the natural drama queen that I am, like, no joke, guys, that's the hardest thing for me not to do, is feed into people's drama. And my mom likes to have drama. So it was just not a good thing getting us together. So this time it's been like so much different, but it's because for the last 2 years, I have not let myself entertain any of that. So it's just natural. Like, something negative comes up, I'm like, oh, okay. And we just go on to something else. Like, we don't sit and dwell on it. So that's what today's is talking about, how basically all changes start within you. And that's if you want more money, more time, you want to be more positive, you want to be healthier. Like, how many times do I hear people say, oh, I can't get healthy because my husband won't eat healthy with me? It's funny because right now my husband and I don't eat very healthy, and we do it together. But when I was eating super healthy, guess who jumped on board and lost 100 pounds? Or no, just kidding. Yeah, he lost a little over 100 pounds. I didn't nag him, but when they see that you do it consistently, because the people that live with you know you way better than anybody else. I can fool the person on Facebook that doesn't know me very well, but my husband knows if what I'm posting is actually true, or if I'm putting on a front for social media. And that's going to be like, when the people that you actually live with, yep, when the people that you actually live with believe that you're trying to be healthy, and they believe that you're really trying to be positive, that's when you know that you're actually doing a good job kind of putting your money where your mouth is. And that's something that I used to get so mad at Brett. I just thought he was always ragging on me. And then I started, like, I saw what it was. And it wasn't that he was ragging on me. It's that I was one person in public and another person at home. So when I changed that, and I really decided, like, what I preach is what I'm going to practice, like, it's funny how much better my marriage got, because my husband saw that I was trying to really become a better person, not just act like one for other people. So I love this week's topic because it's all about, if you want to win in public, you have to win at home at first. You have to win at home first. And the way I look at it in our business is, if we want to get that $10,000 paycheck, like, we have to actually be working when no one's watching. It's easy to hop on the public power hours and like do the work with the team. But what if your team isn't having power hours? Or what if, like, last week and this week, my mom's here, so I'm not doing near as much training or anything. So if you're willing to work without somebody reminding you to work, that's when you're actually going to win those public victories, and you're going to get those promotions. There's a saying that you win during the training, you just show up at the competition to collect your trophy. A friend of mine is a bikini competitor, and she works freaking hard all year round. And then she'll show up and she places at all of her different competitions. But the competition is like, I don't know, a few hours long, but she spent months and months and months working toward the goal. Like, if she would have spent months and months and months eating macaroni and cheese like I do, and then show up and be like, hey, I'm here for my first place bikini trophy, they would laugh her off stage. But she spends months and months and months working, and she goes in with the confidence of, I already put all the work in. I'm just here to pick up my trophy and like shake some hands. And I think if we showed up to our businesses or our marriages, really anything like that, like, we put all the work in to where we confidently go into that conversation with our spouse, because we know that we've been showing up for them. Like there's the tension isn't there, and the animosity isn't there, and the resentment isn't there, because we've been working on ourselves. So we can confidently like go into that conversation with our spouse about whatever we're talking about, or confidently, like, we know when they come home from work, or when you're going out on a date night, you know that you're not going to go out on this date night and then this elephant that's been in the room for a while is going to like creep into a conversation and it's going to run your whole night. So I love that. Just basically treating every day like that is your competition. And then when the days come that you get like the good feelings and the, you know, people shouting you out or whatever, or your spouse, you know, loving on you extra, like those are the rewards for all the work that you put in behind the scenes. So that's kind of how I've been looking at things. Yeah, so that's just kind of how I've been looking at things, and it's been helping a lot. But some of the private battles with the business that I feel like we really have to own up to would be like prospecting, advertising, being consistent in those, because when our paychecks are dropped on the 15th, that's a reflection from everything we did the last 90 days. And I felt that hard this month because I would probably say April and May, I really slacked off. And I just kind of, I don't even know why. Like, we had nothing big going on. I just kind of slacked off. So June, I really picked it back up. July, I really picked it back up. But my August paycheck is not very big. And it's not a direct reflection of last month. It's a direct reflection of the last 3 to 4 months. So I know, because I'm working my butt off so hard last month and this month, and then I'm continuing it for September or October, you know, I'm just going to stay doing this. My paychecks are going to do nothing but shoot up, and I'm going to be getting that $10,000 paycheck so much faster than I even dreamed that I was going to. Like, I have been shooting for the $10,000 paycheck and kind of in my head, oh, I want this, but I'm not even there anymore. Like, I'm running towards $30,000 a month. I am done with, you know, looking at these little ranks that I want. I'm going ambassador. That's it. Like, I'm claiming it. And that's what my eye is on. So if I'm getting close to double and triple and presidential, that's awesome, but that is not going to cause me to slow down. Yeah, so one thing that I'm really focusing on, and Savannah and I have talked about this, if you're in the VIP group, we're talking about this the whole month. If you're not, you need to get in there. We cannot control customers that join from any of the ads and the host of posts that we put up. We cannot control volumes. What we can control are those $100 weekly bonuses. We have the means to prospect the right amount of people, to help the right amount of people. Like, I just got an extra $200 bonus today. I know Savannah earned one this week. I don't think it's paid out till next week. And I know you're earning another one, like you're working on another one. I finished another one yesterday that I'll be getting next week. So you cannot control your paycheck to a point, but you can control those $100 bonuses. And I'm just focusing on getting an extra $1,000 bonus every single month. Oh, you did get one today. So I'm focused on an extra $1,000 every single month. I'm going to do the Stephanie Dunn, you know, 10 a month. That's her like do or die goal. I think she enrolls more than that now, but, so that's what I'm focusing on. And it's so exciting because then I get these people on the phone and I'm helping them actually make money. I'm helping them pay their phone bill and their car bill. And it's just so much more fun to me, like, than just putting up ads and getting some customers. For a while, I was doing that, and I was mass enrolling customers and sending out thank you cards and like helping with their goals. But I just have a passion for helping people make money. That's really just all there is to it. I know, Savannah, you posted the book about You Are a Badass, and I just started the book today, You Are a Badass at Making Money. The first one I read a while ago, yeah, and I have the counterpart to that I started today. And I don't know if you've read that one yet, but it is like, it's like the girl version of the Millionaire Mindset, or Success Tips from a Millionaire Mindset, or whatever. It's like a little less hardcore version than that. So a little bit different, but it's like, I don't know, it's just really good. And she said today, she said, we need to take the stigma out of money. Like, saying I love money is looked at as a bad thing, but you can say I love pizza and no one bats an eye. But anytime we say, oh, I love money, but, you know, relationships are more important. Like we always have that but on there. No, you cannot truly be successful and help like the amount of people you want to if you can't pay your own dang rent or pay your own dang mortgage. So yeah, I think she talks about that quite a bit. And I loved it because I didn't know that she was 40 when she read this, or she was 40 when she started changing her finances. I don't know how old she is now. But I was thinking she was like a 20-year-old, like she was young. And she's talking about how she was 40 and like credit score was crap and always broke. And she decided to change it. I was like, I was ragging on myself for being 29 and like barely getting able to like buy a house with credit and like barely getting some money in the bank. Like I should have done that 10 years ago. No, I'm like, dang, if she can do it at 40, like I feel like awesome that I'm learning it by 29. And some of y'all by 30, 35, like even if you're, you know, older than that, just really the fact that you can do it anytime that you want to do it. And you changing your money mindset and you changing your wealth habits, how many people are you going to impact? Where at the same time, if you decide that you want to go screw up your credit, get yourself in debt, like you're still impacting people. You may not want to own it, but you are, but you're impacting them negatively. So the first thing it talks about when it talks about the private battles is self-discipline. That is like such a dirty word for me. I just hate even hearing that because I know I don't have a lot of discipline at all. And that's something that I'm consistently working on. So I want to know from everyone on here, what have you done this week to exercise self-discipline? Because when it said that in the book, I was like, dang, I got to actually think about this. Like, I can tell you what I've done to not exercise discipline. Those of y'all that don't know, my mom's here for 2 weeks. She's been here since Friday morning. So she's coming up tomorrow will be the 1 week that she's been here. So I can tell you I haven't exercised a whole lot of discipline with my sleeping habits. We've been playing board games but I figured that, like, but it still is a discipline. Definitely not my eating habits. I don't even want to tell you what I ate at the fair, like how many different times. Or the fact that as soon as I get off here, probably gonna eat some ice cream and make like a frappuccino. And TV, we've had way more TV time. Yeah, we've had way more TV time than I let myself have ever. But there are some things that I've made myself, and I knew what, like, I even told my mom, I was like, there's going to be times where you can either have like quiet time on your own, or you and Glory can have extra time together. Like, you definitely don't have to babysit my kid because she does not need that. Like, she can entertain herself. But where I'm going to like minimum 2 hours a day of working. Now, sometimes that's good. No, she said she got up at 4:30 and did not take a nap. Sorry guys, I cannot see all of them because I really do have bad eyesight and the light is like shining in my face. But so I have specifically the 3 things that I've done every single day since my mom got here that I told myself I was going to do. My follow-ups every single day, because I'm not letting my business fail, because like the business is what is paying for my mom to be here right now. Self-development. Like today I went and cleaned the bathroom and I just listened to 30 minutes of an audiobook while my mom and Glory were in the kitchen playing Candyland. Like, it's not that hard. You just have to let the people around you know, like, this is a priority and this is what I'm going to do. Now, if she was only here for like 3 days or something, it might be different. But guys, she's living with me for 2 weeks. So it does not hurt her for me to go disappear for 30 minutes to be able to like make sure my mindset is right for the rest of the day. And then, today, I'm not gonna lie, guys. I did not want to get on this Zoom at like 2:00 this afternoon. I was like, I have a Zoom. Today's Thursday. I need to do that Zoom tonight. I was like, last week I canceled. I told them I'd do it this week. I was like, I really just want to stay sitting at the kitchen table playing games. But you know what? This impacts my business. This helps build my paycheck. And so I told my mom, I was like, at such and such time, I'm gonna go disappear for 30 minutes. I just want to write out my lesson plan real quick. Like, I pretty much know what I'm gonna teach, but I don't want to like hop on and wing it because that's not me. And then I got so fired up. And that's like, they talk about it all the time. How do you stay motivated? You don't. You just do stuff when you're not motivated, and that breeds motivation. Action breeds reaction, I think is the word. Or no, wait. I don't know. Action brings action. I don't remember. I know it rhymes, but I still can't remember what the words are. So whatever. I do know that if you don't want to do it and you just make yourself do it, you basically like fake the excitement, and then you actually get excited about working. I have sent out like 50 some follow-ups today while we've been playing cards. So it's not my turn. Like I have my notebook laying out and my iPad set up, and I'm literally just punching a name in, using my text replacement, clicking a follow-up, clicking send. I literally can send one every time it's not my turn. So it's not going fast, but what would I be doing during that time otherwise? Sitting there waiting for my turn. So I might as well be making a little bit of money while I'm sitting there playing games. And just, it's basically just getting creative. Like first, to be disciplined, sometimes that takes a lot of creativity. If you turn to page 21 in the workbook, this might be a little bit shorter than I thought. Like I had so many notes right now, and I'm like halfway through them already. Probably because I'm so fired up. I feel like I am like going 1,000 miles a minute because I'm actually really excited about this. So page 21 in the workbook, it says, if I could change something about the world, what would it be? So either unmute yourself and say it or drop it in the chat, whatever's easier. But if you could change anything about the world, what would you change? And like I said, this is a very interactive Zoom. So we're gonna have a few different questions that we're gonna talk about. Less negativity. That actually goes along with mine. Mine is I would change that to where no one had the victim mentality. Like everyone, I would just empower everybody to like own their decisions and own their choices, which goes right hand in hand with no negativity. So keep them coming as you think of them. But we're going to go on to the next one. The next one is, if you could change one thing about yourself, what would you change? In the violence. That's a good one. So if you could change one thing about yourself, and she wasn't saying in the violence about herself. No racism. I mean, knowing Savannah, she probably does need it in the violence. She probably beats Eric up quite a bit. That spousal abuse, you know, domestic violence goes both ways. People think it's just the guys. They don't know Savannah. I'm just kidding. Someone's going to like call the dang services on me because I'm saying that. So one thing that you could change about yourself, what I would change is having a bigger influence. Be more positive and upbeat. That's a good one. Now I need to look at the chat because I know I missed a few of these. So one thing you change about the world is people being more understanding of others. That's a good one. Change about yourself, being more positive and upbeat. Better time management. Those are all really good. I would change to have myself a bigger influence, because realistically, like I love my job, absolutely. But the reason that I do this is to gain exposure, because I want to be able to write a book and do TED Talks and like really influence and impact people. Try not to worry and stress less. That is definitely one I need to do too. Time management for myself. So there's several things that we would change about ourselves. And like I said, mine would be just having a bigger influence, which everything that you guys just named, you're in control of. So it's just taking steps to like slowly fix whatever you're wanting to fix. And then the last one is looking inside out. What's a change that would benefit others around you? So something that you could do to yourself that would benefit others. And mine would be a better leader. Because like I said, if I want to have influence over people and really impact people, that means I have to be a good leader. And guess what? You can't lead other people if you can't lead yourselves. So what's one thing that you can do today to make a change in yourself to like hit whatever some of those goals are that you were putting in the chat? And mine would just be to be a better leader. And it's so easy to do that, because how many books are out there that like free, and not even just books, but just tons of free resources to be able to learn how to be a better leader, or to be able to learn how to be a better parent or a better spouse. Like there's so many different things that are out there that really there's no excuse. So anytime that I look at something and I'm like, oh man, I just wish I could do that, And I always have to look at myself first and be like, you can, you're just too lazy to do it. Like no joke, every time that I am shopping and I'm like, dang, I wish I was back into this size. Or if I see pictures from college, I have to look at myself and be like, you could be, you just choose not to. So it really, like, it's just, we make choices that impact our lives. You just have to own those choices. So, oh wait, so something that you have to do to impact other people, and basically, like, you have to be able to have high confidence in yourself, love yourself, have high self-esteem. And honestly, usually that makes you a little bit arrogant in certain ways. I used to think that being arrogant was a bad thing. And to a point, like, I mean, I think all of us know that one person that's just like super full of themselves and you can't stand to be around them. But to a point, we need to err on the side of arrogance, because we need to have so much confidence in ourselves and our abilities that nobody can tear us down. Because you cannot truly impact other people if you cannot even, like, see all of the good qualities in yourself. So if you turn into the workbook, page 22, it talks about your personal bank account. And I'm going to read through some of these just for the simple fact that I know not everyone listening to this has the book. But it talks about your personal bank account, and basically that there are deposits and withdrawals. All right, let me check the chat. Somebody put something in there. I didn't see it. Yes, a lot of people are saying a better leader, and that's really good. But your life, literally, like your life, your self-esteem, your confidence is just like a bank account. And just like a bank account, when you are constantly taking stuff out and not putting it back in, you get negative consequences. I know this because I used to withdraw my account all the dang time. Like them $35 stupid little transaction fees add up a lot. And it's a much better feeling when you constantly are making deposits and not taking very much out. And I can tell you, I now do it that way. And guess what? I am way happier. Like my bills are like my bill collectors are way happier. My husband is happier. Now this week, I'm not, like, I took a little more withdrawals than I had planned. But again, there's a season for everything, guys. My season is shopping right now. Like, we walked into Five Below and walked out with so much crap, like stuff, it's my daughter's birthday this week, last Monday. So we always do like a 2-week birthday celebration for her. So by the time you do like Build-A-Bear and a birthday dinner and presents, like the 5-year-old's expensive. So my husband was like, really, Tanya, like you went to Build-A-Bear and you got her all these presents? I was like, honey, she's only 5 once. He's like, you said that last year. I was like, yeah, because last year she was 4. She's only 4 once too. So he makes fun of me, but you know what? There's a reason I only had 1 kid. And I'm going to, Savannah knows, I'm going to be like Janice. I'm just going to spoil the crap out of her because I only have 1, so I can. Savannah turned out pretty good. So, I mean, the odds are in my favor with that one, I think. So the negative things that you can do to withdraw from your life would be things like not standing up for yourself, criticizing yourself. How many times do you get dressed and look at yourself and like, dang, my stomach looks so awful in this, or man, I hate my arms in this outfit, for no reason. And I guarantee most people looking at us don't even think that. I used to not wear so many clothes after having my daughter because my stomach is just like a weird dang shape now. It's never been flat. Like, I'll just start off by saying that. Never in my life have I had a flat stomach. That's where, like, just my body type, I've always carried my weight there. But even when I was like running all the time and in really good shape, I at least had like my curves looked like curves versus like the spare tire. And so after having my daughter, like I have like a bump on the, like between my boobs and my belly button, there's like a little hump or something. And I don't remember what the doctor called it, but apparently it's fairly common. And you can like, it's gone down a little bit, but it's like Amanda has it. Like her and I were talking about the other day too, because she's the same way. Like she's always been very small, but she has like a little bump on her stomach now. And so we were talking about so many clothes, like we don't, we were so self-conscious about our stomachs. And how many people look at us and think that? Like, now, granted, if I was wearing like a bikini or a crop top or something, that would be different. But in regular clothes, like, people don't look at you and be like, oh man, like they automatically see your problem area, but we do. And we're so negative to ourselves. Always go along with the crowd, even if you don't agree with what they're doing. Overindulging, that one's for me. Food, TV, trolling the internet, like you can overindulge in so many things. Using drugs or alcohol. I don't think a lot of people in our team have that problem because that tends to be, well, I don't think a lot of people have that problem. Not feeling loyal to anybody, allowing other people to take advantage of you. And for me, I used to do that. I didn't know how to say no. If someone asked me for a favor, it was always yes. And for me, it was always church. Like church would ask me, someone at church would ask me for something and I always told them yes, even if I didn't have the time to do it. Because I almost felt obligated. Like, and sometimes it's the other person's fault. Like sometimes they make you feel like you're a bad person if you say no. And I had to tell people like, no, like you cannot make me feel bad for telling you I don't want to do this. Like I'm not making time for this. And all of those things are withdrawals that you're making. But then the positive, so stuff that like you feeding into yourself would be speaking up when you know that you're right. Having self-confidence and like talking up when you're wanting to share your opinions or your ideas with other people, being happy for other people when they succeed, having a good work-life balance or a good work-life center, living by principles, like we talked about last week. Instead of living by like things, we live by principles. If someone is coming to you with gossip, shutting it down, constantly improving yourself, and then recognizing that life has ups and downs and basically not over dramatizing them. So the homework for this week, the biggest homework, and I don't know if I'm going to get through, no, I don't think I'm going to get through all of this, but the biggest homework is going to be writing down. So you're going to get a 3x5 card. You can't really see this, so I'll explain it. So get a 3x5 card. And literally all week, you're going to write down you're just going to write down as much as you can think of. So at the end of the day, you're going to think back on all of the decisions that you made that day, and you're just going to write the decision and write if it was a withdraw or a deposit. Your goal at the end of the day is to have at least 66% withdrawals or 66% deposits and only 33% withdrawals. And I realize there's like a 1% left in there. But for example, so let's say that you hit snooze on your alarm that morning. You would write that down and that would be a withdrawal. But let's say on the flip side, you got up to your alarm that morning. When it went off, then that would be a deposit. If you told yourself you were going to work out every day, you went to the gym that day, that would be a deposit. If you didn't go, that would be a withdrawal. If you told yourself you weren't going to let yourself watch only a certain amount of TV, but you watched a movie that you weren't planned on. I'm glad you like the challenges. These are not mine. These are stuff that comes in the book. But it's to get you looking at your life and like at the end of every day, if your withdrawals and your deposits are pretty much even, you're a little off because you want to have way more deposits, but at least you're not negative. Now, at the end of the day, if you have tons of deposits and very little withdrawals, you probably are a pretty happy person because you're constantly feeding into yourself. On the flip side, if at the end of the day, you have so many withdrawals and you're like super in the negative, then you know there are things that you need to change because you purposely are choosing to live your life in the red, right? The red is when it's negative. I don't know. Janice would know this because she deals with money. Red is negative, black's positive, right? Yeah, Black Friday. I should know this. Shopping in here. Like Black Friday means the stores go black. My husband explained that to me. Because I was like, why is it called Black Friday? Like, did Jesus do something that I don't know about? He's like, it's nothing to do with the Bible. It's all to do with the stores. I was like, oh, I thought it was like something from the Bible. I don't know. But anyways, so if you're constantly living your life in the red, you're probably pretty negative and depressed, and you just see the bad in literally everything. So, Savannah, can you see how many minutes I have? I know it's under 10. 5. Okay, perfect. So a few other things. We talked about keeping promises. literally when I say keeping a promise, that term is used so loosely. It literally is like getting up to your alarm, getting to the gym when you said you were going to. Your commitments, I guess, might be a better word, but keeping, like, you said you were going to do something, so you're going to do it, even though no one's keeping you accountable, because all that knows that what you're supposed to do is you. Another way of doing this is make sure that you're starting small. So hypothetically, let's say that you do not work your big old butt out at all. You are not going to have the goal of, oh, I'm going to go to the gym 6 times this week for an hour each day. You're not going to do it. So have the goal like I have when I started. I'm going to go walking 3 times this week for 30 minutes each time. I didn't say running. I didn't say I had to go to the gym. Now, sometimes that meant going to the gym and doing the elliptical because I do not like sweating. So if it's 100 degrees outside, like, I'm not going to go walking. I'm going to drop my kid off at little gym baby daycare, whatever they call it. And I'm going to get on the elliptical in front of a fan because I do not want to, like, come home with sweat rings under my boots. But whatever your goal is, like, do it. But start small. When it comes to work, a huge goal that you can set that's small is keeping track of your actions every day. I didn't used to do this, and I used to think I was getting way more work done than I actually was. So if you currently are not keeping track of how many prospects that you're doing, how many follow-ups, like just how many minutes you're doing in self-development, that should be your first goal, is just consistently tracking all of that every single day. And then the last thing we'll talk about is just doing random acts of kindness for other people. We'll talk more about that next week. We may do the bank account deposit thing twice, like this week and next week. But when I didn't know this. Like, I like to do things for other people. I didn't know that that was actually a deposit in your bank account. So that's something, like, let's say I'm going to use Savannah and Janice because I know they live in the same town. You know, you could go over and, I would say, clean your mom's house, but she pays someone else to do that. So do something small that she normally would do. Like, it doesn't have to be something crazy. So in the flip side, it could be Janice, pays her housekeeper to go over and do your laundry or whatever. But it's something like super small for somebody else. That could be paying for the person behind you in the drive-thru. That could be going and cleaning the church because maybe the person that was going to do it was sick. That could be babysitting a friend's kids for a couple hours so she could have a couple hour of free time. Like, any act of kindness for somebody that you know. And this is different than Wealth Wednesday, so I don't want anyone in Rank Makers to get confused with that. But it's just doing something small and kind for somebody else, and that puts a positive boost in your own bank account. So I hope you guys like this one. I feel like they go fast. They go so fast. I get fired up, and it's just like 45 minutes is gone. So I hope you guys like this one, and I will talk to you guys next week. Bye.